Hell is a state of mind, my dear. Reality is simply what we believe it to be. Each of us makes our own truths, even ghosts. And today, Jen and I are talking about Pen Pal by JT Geissinger.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Much as oh yay, okay. I'm thinking like as much as we read her, I should know how to say her name by now.
Yeah, seriously. I think this is our third episode with her book as the topic, right?
It is. So the first one was Perfect Strangers.
Mm-hmm.
Then the second one was
Oh yeah, then
Blackthorn.
Blackthorn.
And now this.
Yep.
Okay, so synopsis. I don't even know how to explain the story. There's a woman. It starts out that she is just buried her husband because he died in a boating accident. And literally the first 80%, and I'm not even joking, the first 80% of this book is her navigating what life is going to be like after this trauma, I guess. This loss.
Yeah,
this
trauma.
Fixed point in time that cannot be changed, right? It's not what her future planned for, like all the things. But as she's navigating this trauma, or I should say loss, as she's navigating this loss and life after with her husband, we meet characters. So she has a house cleaner, Louisa. No, not Louisa.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Louisa?
I don't remember.
Fiona? I think it's Fiona.
I think it's Fiona. That sounds right.
She's got like a housekeeper, Fiona, and then things start happening in the house. So she like calls a handyman, and then we kind of meet Eddie, and then she needs the roof done, and then we meet Aiden. But as we see these people, they see that something's wrong with her. Like obviously because of this loss, she's not sleeping very well. She has, she's blacking out. She's not eating. And each one of these people that come in her life and see something, they try and offer her help, support, but not like in a pushy kind of way. They're like, we see something, what can I do for you? Well,
yeah.
When we get to Aiden, sparks fly. Like they're just all over the place. And so now she starts a relationship with Aiden. And it's also kind of navigating a new relationship after the loss of your spouse, somebody who you've been with for however long, however young she was. But the first time she ends up in Aiden's bed is because she thinks somebody's in her house. And she runs out the door and goes straight to him. And then they fuck like rabbits. And that's what he ends up calling her, is Bunny. That's her nickname. I don't think I'm giving the justice of the synopsis of this story, and there'll be a reason why once we get to it, okay?
I mean, I feel like that's a pretty good, I feel like that's a pretty good synopsis on like what's happened without giving everything away.
Yet. So that is literally like the 80%. And part of the relationship with Aiden is, again, her moving on, her having a different kind of intimacy with a different kind of man, learning that it's okay. But as time progressed, I think it's like a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, I'm not sure, she still hasn't taken her wedding ring off. And I feel like Aiden and Kayla, Bunny, whatever you want to call her, they are, I truly believe that they are soulmates, right? So that instant connection, the way that they are with each other, like you can just feel it on the page. But he's like, you're not ready. He's like, I know that. And so the best way that I know how to help you is I need to take a step back, because until you get that clarity, until you can take your ring off, you really can't move on. And he's like, I don't want us to start building our future together while you're still in this space, because I don't want you to ever feel like our relationship is tainted or whatever, that we can't be together.
Yeah.
And so they take some time apart. That's 80% of the book. For those who have read JT, y'all know.
Yep.
Y'all know. Okay? I am messaging Jen because I'm getting... Anyways, let me get back to the synopsis before we get into my feelings. So, at the 80% mark, she's home. She's trying to navigate her feelings because she really wants to be with Aiden, but she's got to work through herself. Shit starts happening in the house, and they've kind of been happening at the beginning. That's why she needed all these different people, like the lights flickering and not working, some other things. Well, now all of a sudden, really think she's here creaking. She feels like somebody's watching her when no one's there. She's feeling the cold spots. Cabinets in the kitchen are opening when nobody, like all of the spooky stuff is happening. Well, Fiona, her housekeeper, apparently seems to know that there's some kind of spiritual thing happening. And she's like, well, my sister is a medium. We can get here because we have to do a seance. Seances. And something that I forgot to mention is even when she was being courted with Aiden, she sometimes kept on seeing this figure like outside of her house, following her, somebody in a trench coat. So it's potentially the spiritual stuff is following her. She thinks that she saw a little boy playing in the background. All this other stuff. Well, when they finally do the seance, some weird stuff happens. But throughout the book, Fiona has said things, other people have said things to her to try and get her to check her reality. Long story short, if you've ever seen The Other Side with like Nicole Kidman, Kayla is actually the ghost, not the other way around. So that's what we learn. And so what we learn is that her husband did not die in a boating drowning accident, is that she divorced her husband because he was very abusive. And he cannot stand the thought of not being with her because it's that, if I can't have you, nobody can have you kind of thing. And he ends up shooting Aiden and drowning her. He kills them. And when she finally accepts this reality, there's a knock on the door, and it's Aiden who's her soulmate. And he's like, I'm glad that you're here. Now let's go fucking haunt your ex-husband. And they go and haunt her ex-husband, and that's the end of the book. Obviously, high level synopsis, but yes, that is the story. So Jen, I'm gonna pass it over to you.
Oh yeah,
because I have feelings. Okay, I have lots of feelings. Let's let you talk first.
I mean, I want to hear what your feelings are.
First off, for those who don't know, I fucking hate ghost story romances, okay? I hate them with a passion. I will say that this one is a tiny smidge better than most of the other ones. But I don't like ghost stories. Go.
I think what made it better is because all of the romance that you get wasn't when they were ghosts.
Yes, I was going to say that.
Like, I think that's what ends up saving. I'm using that term very loosely, and we'll get more into it. But like, I feel like for me, that's what kind of salvaged their story is all of the scenes where they're falling in love and she's going to him, and like all of those decisions were made prior to them being killed. And what I really love about what JT did here is she left like so many breadcrumbs, but then she created it where like Aiden was an entity, and then you had these letters that were showing up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the letters.
Randomly throughout the randomly for Kayla, and it's from a penitentiary. I don't think I said that right. And it's this person named Dante, and she's like, who is this person? Why is he writing to me? But she continues to write with him, and you find out later that it was actually Aiden writing to her as this Dante persona
to get her to realize that she's a ghost.
Yeah. Thank you. I think JT did a really, really awesome job of And I mean, and she does this. I think I was really torn on how she did it in Blackthorn, but she did it really, really well in Perfect Strangers, and I feel like she did it really, really well here, where, and again, same thing, 80% of the book, you're expecting one thing, or like you're set up for one thing, and then as soon as, you know, the twist happens, all of your ideas unravel and she creates this whole new reality. And I don't think I've ever seen an author, or at least not for me, and I don't think I've ever seen an author execute a plot twist as well as JT does. I think the only other one that I can think of in recent memory was the That's Not My Name by Megan Lally, I think it is. I could be wrong on that. Like that plot twist, I was like, oh. And even then, like Misty saw that coming, and I don't think you see this coming until it's too late, like until it's almost obvious what's happening.
So I feel like it was like a red herring. Like once the paranormal stuff started happening, it's like, well, is Kayla the ghost? Well, no, that can't be it because she's the main character. Okay, now she's dating Aiden. Is Aiden the ghost? Well, that can't be because she's actually going to his partner and they're having sex. Like, that doesn't make sense. Like, and so help me God, if he is, I would be so upset, right? Like, so it's almost like it's there, but because it's the main character, you're not thinking that that's the case. So, and she built it in a way to where you kind of think it, but then you don't. But then you're like, well, it definitely has to be the husband because the man in the trench coat, like the little boy. And I'm thinking, because I asked you, like, is she in a mental institution? Because I'm thinking maybe it wasn't just her husband that died. Maybe it was her son when we saw the little boy. And that will definitely cause somebody to have a mental breakdown, right? So
for sure.
That's why I was thinking, but I didn't think that it was like, I didn't think that she was actually going to do it. Like, I really didn't think that that was going to be the case. I thought all of these people were going to be either the ghosts or whatever, trying to tell her, hey, your son, your husband's here, you know, like, it's okay. Even when Claire comes, the medium comes, and they're having the seance, and she's rationalizing that she's the ghost, I was rationalizing, oh my gosh, she's a fucking medium too. She can see all these ghosts. Like, but then at one point, I also thought, because if you've read JT, you know that twist is coming. So as I was messaging Jen, I was like, I know something's happening. I just need to know what that is so then I can read and enjoy the book. And of course I didn't have the physical book, because if I would have had the physical book, I would have fucking skipped ahead. But I didn't. So then at one point I thought that, what was I going to say? Oh my gosh. Shit. I had another theory and I just lost it.
That's okay.
What was it? I think it had to do with Aiden. That she was psychic. Huh, it'll come to me. But yeah. But I agree with you. The fact that they fell in love, the romance, their love story took place before they became ghosts. It was like 6 months or a year that they were, you know, that they had their thing. And I will say, those who don't know, I also hate flashbacks. But because the way she wrote it, it doesn't feel like flashbacks. And you don't know that it's flashbacks till you get to the 80% and you realize that she's remembering, because she's like, oh, it's a lot of the past and a little bit of the present that's intermingled. It's just been jumbled.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I'll admit I needed you to read this because I needed us to talk about it. I appreciate JT's writing as an author, like as her being an author. Yes. And the way she is able to weave stories like this is incredible. I think she is so, so incredibly talented. That said, I don't know that I will read. I'm not going to say never because you never know, but like where, like I used to read Nicholas Sparks, like binge it. And I couldn't read him anymore because every single book was just ripping your heart to shreds.
Yeah.
And I feel like JT's books are meant to do that too. And it's something, I mean, we just talked about it in the last episode. Like, it's just something I can't set myself up for on a regular basis because it's too emotionally turbulent for my little sensitive heart. Because, like, when the reveal came and you have the scene in the boat and Aiden turns to her and he knows what is about to happen and he thinks he's about to save her by sacrificing himself. Fucking lost it. And then she dies anyway. I'm like, this is bullshit. This is bullshit. I can't, like, I can't handle I can't handle them getting that close to their happily ever after. And she just went through years of abuse, and she finds someone who's going to treat her right, and then they get like months, like 3 or 4 months, and that was it. And that's just not fair. And I didn't like I can't. I just can't handle it. I love that he stayed. I love that he pulled her to him in like the afterlife. I love that they went and haunted his motherfucking ass because fuck that man. I can't remember his name. But I do not read contemporary romances to have my heart shredded. And like I can't. It's just I don't, for me, in my opinion, this is not a romance. Like, you do not get a happy ever after. Like, yeah, they end up together, but not in a way that allows her tormentor any type of, so he's going to be haunted. Like, I don't care. Like, he should be dead. He should be fucking tortured for hours on end and then die and then be brought back to life to be tortured again. Like, him being haunted isn't bad enough for what he did. And them being gone and having the ability to haunt him isn't good enough for what they had to go through. So it's, the talent is incredible. Aiden and Kayla's love story was just precious, but I cannot handle these kinds of stories. So I need you to suffer with me.
I'm happy to do it. That's what besties are for. I remembered what my second theory was.
Oh, yeah?
My second theory was a combination of things, is that I thought that potentially she had lost her memory and that these people were trying to get her to remember. Like, Aiden knows who she is, but like he can't say anything. And so these people are just rotating in her life, still trying to support her on the outs, but still like let her go through whatever it is. So like she has flashbacks of like somebody grabbing her and like pushing her. And I thought maybe she had been kidnapped and then like lost her memory, or that maybe her first husband was abusive, which that comes out to be true. And then Aiden is like her second husband. And like, that's why, maybe she got into a car accident and she's still split between these realities. And he's like, I know what she's been through. So things like that were kind of, so yeah.
Oh, you were you were all over it for sure.
That's why I was messaging you, because I was all over it. Okay. And I think for me, I want to get back to what you said, but I want to preface this by saying I think for me, I struggled enjoying the story because I knew something was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I'm reading into this and I have all of these thoughts like, okay, it could be this, it could be this. And then there's another clue that changes it and like all the things. And so because I know that's coming, I can't enjoy the story. I agree with you. Their love story was precious. It was kismet. I also agree. I do not think that this is a romance. I don't care that they end up together happily ever after in the afterlife. That is not. You have built this to be a contemporary story. This is how it's marketed. I'm expecting it to be that way. I'm expected to be bored because it's contemporary. But JT throws in that twist so you know that something's happening.
Yeah.
So I don't. Yeah. I mean, I don't even think I would classify this as a dark romance. I wouldn't classify it as. It's a psychological thriller.
Yeah. I mean, that's, in my opinion,
it's a ghost
I
story.
completely agree. Yeah. I completely agree. I don't think this should be. I'm actually looking what
it's classified
as. Yeah, what it's classified as. I can't
You find it in the romance section if you were going to go to the store.
Yeah, well, okay. So it's under interesting, like romantic suspense.
Yeah. Mystery, suspense, dark. Somebody says dark romance, paranormal, thriller. Romantic suspense, I could give it that. But again, it's the romantics part that throws me off.
Yeah.
It's
all okay. So it's number 2 in Gothic romances, number 10 in Gothic romance, and then number 10 in Gothic fiction.
That's
I agree. I agree. But yeah, I mean, I agree. I don't think this classifies as a romance. Like, yes, there is romance. Yes, your two main characters end up together, but not in a way that's satisfying for true romance readers.
So romantic suspense is defined as romance novels in which suspense, mystery, or thriller elements constitute an integral part of the plot.
Accurate.
And then romance novels are defined as all romance novels have a central love story and an emotionally satisfying ending.
Yeah, no, was not emotionally satisfying. It was emotionally wrecking.
Contemporary romance is defined by romance novels that are set from 1950 to the present that focus primarily on the romantic relationship.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot.
Yeah, it was. And as someone who understands death needs to happen in novels, this death was unnecessary. You don't agree? You're distracted.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm really struggling with that because I agree. I 100% agree that it's unnecessary in the context of I wanted traditional happy ever after. I disagree that it wasn't necessary in the context of how JT wrote the book. Because I don't think the book would have worked any other way than how she had it play out.
You know what my third theory was?
What?
Is that she killed her husband and that's why he was haunting her.
Yeah.
And she blacked it out. And everybody knows that she killed him because he abused her, but nobody is charging her for it because he's an abusive asshole.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. That was my third theory. So
I can totally see that.
We could have had death. It just didn't have to be theirs. And the reason why I also thought that, because when she's talking to Aiden, well, why are you this way? Oh, my father used to beat my husband, my mom. So it's paralleling the abuse, right? And then he's like, well, I killed my dad. And then I was like, well, of course she killed her husband. This is why they're soulmates. This is like perfect. Like they've kind of lived through the same trauma. So then it would just make sense that they just connect that way. Because why else would you talk about killing your abuser if she didn't do that? And everybody's just letting her work through that she finally did it. Whether it was an accident or on purpose, maybe they were on the boat for whatever reason. And she's like, I'm done, and like pushes him and he hits his head and then she just throws his body over or something. I don't know.
I mean, I certainly would have preferred the story to be that Aiden and Kayla killed him and got away with it, for sure, 100%. But playing devil's advocate here, because this is what I do on the podcast, I'm so pissed off that I'm saying this. What I understand why it happened the way it did. And I think it's because Aiden killed his father. And he carried a lot of guilt about killing his father, even though it was morally right, in my opinion. Fuck me.
And self-defense.
Okay? Yeah. So, but still, years later, he's been shut down. He doesn't interact with a lot of people. He doesn't have relationships. And it boils down to, he genuinely feels like he is a terrible human being because he committed murder. So throughout this, he falls in love with Kayla. He sees that she's in the same situation, and they do it the right way. He's like, we're not... this isn't part of the book, but my thinking is like, okay, we're going to do it the right way. You're going to choose to leave him, like she still does in the book, and we are going to start our lives together. When her husband kills Aiden, and Aiden does... I mean, he was terrified that he was going to kill Kayla, so I understand why he didn't take additional action. But like, instead of trying to prevent it from happening by like tackling the husband or wrestling the gun away or like winning that fight, it was almost like he would rather even out the scales. And he was going to trust that the one person that he loved in this life was going to move forward. So I feel like that reasoning for him made sense. He's like, this is my way of like penance. I am okay with, sacrificing my life to save hers instead of taking another life. Didn't work, which is bullshit. And God forbid, if I would ever like be in that type of situation, I would want to bring my husband back and take him out again for making me go through that. Because fuck you for making that choice. But I think in the context of who Aiden is as a person, I think for him it evened out the scales.
If what you're saying is true, and that was his reasoning for just standing there, I hate him, and they're not really soulmates. That's how I look at that.
No, I think
no.
Thought he would
if
save
you
her.
Think, I don't care about the saving part. If you really think that your death is in the best interest of the person that you love, for whatever reason, that is the stupidest thing ever.
But that's literally what the book is about.
Without trying to fight for it, to me that means he's not fighting for them, and she's doing all the fighting. He's just there.
I don't necessarily disagree that he should have done more. I feel like JT set that up.
All I see him doing is taking from her when she comes. I mean, he gives her some support and then walking away because he's like, well, you're not ready.
Well, but you have to remember the context of that actual conversation.
I am,
because they were still alive.
But now that you've said that, now I'm seeing him in a whole new light of he did not ever once really fight for them. It's like you
can't fight for somebody who refuses to leave a bad situation. And until she chose to leave him.
But I thought they didn't get together till after she left him.
No, she had an affair with him.
I
And
don't think
then
so.
he recognized the
No, I think she met him after, because part of the memory is that she got the house and the roof was leaking, and that's how they met. She wasn't with her husband when they met.
I'm pretty sure she was.
That's not how I read it. I interpreted it as after she left her husband, because she left her husband because he killed their baby. I don't think they had an affair.
No, because
they didn't have an affair.
No, you're right. She didn't meet him until after she had separated from her husband.
Yeah.
So they were separated, just not, and I mean, I don't care.
And he pushed her to do a restraining order, and she didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they didn't have an affair. Let me tell you something. If he started a relationship with her while she was still with her husband and her husband was beating her and he didn't do a motherfucking thing, then I would doubly down hate that motherfucker.
Yeah.
This is your soulmate and you're just letting her go back and letting him put his hands on her? This is why I read Mafia romance, because they don't take that shit.
Well, yeah, but I mean, in the reality, you can't force somebody to leave a shit situation.
That is very true. But, so, they did not have an affair. So, but you saying that he's okay to balance out the cosmos, then fight against it to be with her, just makes me dislike this book even more.
I mean, the whole book is about sacrificing the most for the person that you love.
That's I did not get that feeling at all.
It was legit. The whole letter that you highlighted, that's what it's about.
That's not about sacrificing. That is about you controlling your own path, your own life. Like, he's saying you are the storm. Why are you creating the lightning? Like, you need to understand yourself. What is your reality? I don't think that has anything to do with sacrificing. I think it's, don't let other people around you control your narrative. You are in charge of it. That's how I interpret that. Nobody can tell you why you have the storm over your head, the storm cloud. Like, you have to determine why you manifested it and why it's there.
Okay, so this is from one of the letters that he writes her. It says, "You asked what I did to land myself here." Now, at this point, we're thinking he's in a penitentiary. We realize he's waiting for her in the afterlife. The simple answer is that I loved someone too much. You see, I learned a lesson from OJ's death. I learned that love means nothing unless it's acted upon. Love isn't real without intent. It's a verb. It isn't passive. But most of all, love means sacrifice. Whatever love asks of you, must be given, no matter the price.
Yeah, I have that highlighted. But he didn't do nothing but fucking stand there. What sacrifice did he give besides saying, "Oh, well, just kill me and let her live"?
I mean, he literally died for her.
I don't think so.
He literally did.
But you just said he didn't do it for her. He did it to balance the cosmos because he felt guilty.
No, that's not what I said. I said he did it for her. He still believed he was going to save her. But he didn't, but he was okay with that, not only to just save her, but to also balance out the scales.
I don't think you can do both.
I completely disagree.
I don't think that you can't stand there and say, "Okay, I'm doing this because I love her," but secretly the other part of it is because I took a life and now I think this is my penance for it. I don't
think he had that thought while it's happening. I think it makes sense in the context of the book of it balances the scales. I don't necessarily agree with it at all. He should have done more to save her, but in his mind he thought he would. And then that whole scene was way more graphic than it needed to be. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and he's lost his mind. I don't know in what reality you think that he's not going to kill both of you. He literally just said, if I can't have you, nobody can. Like, let's use some context clues, people. You need to watch more murder mystery thrillers on freaking ID or something.
I mean, in that scene, he's going to kill both of them regardless.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And
another thing that I don't like is the fact that I'm glad that they end up together in the afterlife. Well, first off, I hate that they're even in the afterlife, but I'm glad that the fact that they're spending their afterlife still with her ex-husband.
I completely, I would rather, hey, let's go make him, crazy and, crazy and then move on with our,
yeah, go back to the field where you were building the house that you guys were going to live in together. Go do something that's not centered around the reason why you guys are
ex-husband.
Dead. Whatever.
Yeah, I completely agree. Would have much rather, instead of him being hey, let's go haunt him, hey, let's go finish building the house. Let's live out the rest of our time there. And then they walk into the cabin and it's finished and her little girl is there.
That would have been great. I would have liked that really would have been great.
Yeah, me too. I'm crying again. God damn it. Yeah. Yep. I'm JT. If you listen, or if your agent listens to this, I think you are a phenomenally talented author. Your twists are absolutely unbelievable, but can't handle it. Love you bunches. This is the last one for me. Thanks.
I will have to say her Mafia isn't that bad. You should read the Mafia one. The second book in that series is my favorite book. I haven't even read the rest of it, but the second one is my favorite. Yeah.
I mean, she'll be an author that I'm all right, Misty, you have to read it first.
Yeah. There's no crazy.
Tell me if I'm able to read it.
There's no crazy plot twist. It's just a regular Mafia. You have to read book 1, unfortunately, to get more context for book 2. But book 2 is absolutely chef's kiss. I love it. It's hilarious. I laughed so much in that book. Ready to rate?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Darkness?
2?
Yeah, I was thinking 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah, because you really don't have a whole lot of darkness until
the end,
the murder scene. Yeah,
which
and
is
then that. It's a pretty intense.
Were there any trigger warnings for this book?
I'm sure there were.
I didn't see any.
Let me check. That's not.
I'm just curious. Or it's just the name JT Geissinger, the trigger warning.
Yeah, seriously. Seriously, though.
If you have any triggers, don't read her, okay?
Honestly. No, actually there aren't. At least they're not listed in
the Kindle version.
Yes, thank you, Jesus Christ.
You're welcome.
Superstar.
Okay. So, spicy?
3?
3. Yeah, that's what I was saying. It's it has to be at least a 3.
Yeah, because they had their scenes were very good. I liked them.
No, I skipped quite a bit of it, but yeah.
Well, of course you did.
The running one, I skipped quite a lot of that too. Okay. And then content?
5.
You don't sound happy about that at all.
I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it. Thank you very much. Because I hated the way it ended, but like the way she writes is just incredible. It's just incredible. I've not seen another author able to manipulate a story the way JT can. Like,
do you know what it reminds me of?
And it still makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It reminds me of let's say you're reading like a Harley Quinn novel, right? And you get to 80% of the book, be like, this shit is really fucking boring. Like, what's the worst possible scenario that we could do to this couple? Okay, I'm gonna do it now because I'm just bored. I feel like that's exactly what happened. She's like, oh, I'm gonna write this love story, and then she's like, worst case scenario. Let me lay this down for you. What's the worst case scenario you think? Let me ask 5 people. Okay, yours is the worst. Let me just write that.
All right, I'll go back and fix a few minor details. And
yeah, but that's perfect. Work. They're both dead? That's great. Why didn't I think of that?
That's awesome. Oh my god. Okay, I know we're going off topic because we're supposed to be wrapping up here, but I don't understand how this book, I mean, I guess I can. I just gave it a 5 stars on the content. Like, I don't understand how this book has gone viral the way it has. Like, maybe it's just my sensitive little heart. I can't deal. Maybe people are looking for getting their hearts ripped out. It's just not my bag.
I think it could be a couple of things. We're talking 80% of the book.
Yeah.
Is okay. And maybe the people didn't read the ending.
They stopped at 80%.
Or at 50 or like whatever percent that it is. And then they're like, oh shit. Maybe I think people are shocked by it. It's definitely something different, right? If you don't want the dark romance that we read with the mafia and the killing and the criminal organization, like all the things, this is as close as you're going to get to that without it.
Yeah, true. I honestly, I would rather read Dead Soldiers, Tailors, whatever. I always fuck that up. I'd rather read that again than, or anything like that, than read something like this again.
That's because we are expecting the main couple to have that satisfying ending, like the definition said, and you don't get that with this.
Yeah. No, you definitely don't.
So for content, I think I'm going to give it a 4. And I'm giving it a 4 because of that 80-20.
Yeah.
I like a good twist. This isn't as bad as freaking Perfect Strangers. It's way better than Perfect Strangers. But you've made me believe one thing, and now you've ripped that reality away. And now you've just embedded a secondary story within this. And it's kind of like the same thing with like, not a love triangle, but like when you read a romance novel and like 50% of the book, you think that this is the main love interest, and then it switches on you and then it's not, it's somebody else. That's kind of how I felt. And
looking at you, Flock.
Oh, shit. Which is to be expected. I know, right? Yeah, we're about to go on another tangent, Jen. hey, don't do that. So, while it's great, the plot, the story, like everything's great, I think because of that twist, I don't think I could fully give it a 5. I don't. Because now you've ripped me out of one story, and now I have to essentially start in a secondary story that's in the middle of all the chaos, which I I can't believe I'm saying this, I actually enjoy, but like not in this context.
Yeah. I think both of us would obviously feel different if it had gotten a better ending.
Yeah. Actually, no.
I think that
I don't even think the better ending. I think, okay, maybe.
No, I'm saying like if the twist had been that they killed her husband.
Yes.
Yeah. I think if it had been that kind of twist, then.
And to have a biases against ghost romances. So that taints my rating of the story.
I was talking to Mike the evening after we recorded our last episode, and you were like, I know you're being ambiguous about the couple on purpose. Who? And I'm like, no, it's not the one you're reading. And it's true. It wasn't. But then I remembered after the fact that they were technically ghosts. And I was like, God damn it. She's going to murder me.
I didn't even make that connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So overall,
I'm struggling between a 3 and a 3.5, and I'll tell you why. Because I loved everything up to the 80%. Like I do. I think Aiden and Kayla are soulmates. I love the premise that Aiden stayed and like he was so like his world became color again in meeting Kayla, and her world turned into color by meeting Aiden, where both of them were living in black and white. And like I feel like she did such a beautiful job in like telling their story and that sort of thing. But I'm struggling with the 0.5 because I loved it that much, but the ending really, really taints everything. So I'm gonna go with a 3. Like, if you're looking for a book that will make you sob if you're anything like me, or really piss you off if you're anything like Misty, then like, yeah, go read it. Or we have a whole bunch of other books that we could recommend that have better endings. But maybe if you're like a Colleen Hoover fan, you'd like this one.
So this is going to be interesting because I'm going to give it a 4.
Oh my God. What?
I would give this book a 4.
Okay. I'm like floored. Because
okay, hold on. I gotta look at the rating again. Let me look at the ratings. I feel like so 3 is it's good. I enjoyed it. You should totally check it out. 4 is there was a little something extra that pulled at me, and 5 was devoured, couldn't put down, or I was surprised by it. I cannot give it a 5.
Oh shit.
I can't. But 4. Oh, maybe it is a 3. It's good. I enjoyed it. Not really. You should totally check it out. I don't know. I feel like I feel like a 4 is better. I don't know if I'm talking myself into it or out of it.
I can't tell either, but this is fun. Because I'm in the same boat. Like I couldn't put it down. I read it in like I think you took a little longer to get into it.
I did take a little longer because I didn't. Yeah.
But like once I got into it, I think I read it within a day or two. And it was another that I bounced between the audio and Kindle. And that's another tell that like I have a hard time putting it down.
I feel like it has to be a 4.
But you're mad about it.
I'm mad about it. I'm very mad about it. I want to know what I rated Perfect Strangers. Hold on.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Let's take a look at this.
Because it does have a very similar feel to the twist.
This is going to be funny.
What was
that? So, we're perfect strangers. You gave it a 3. So it fits. You're right on track.
Yep.
I gave it a 5. Then I have
so funny.
I have a 5/1. It's a 5 up to the 80%, and then everything else is a 1.
Well, you know what? At least we're consistent.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like, it doesn't get much more on the nose than that.
Yeah, but also I feel I'm justified saying a 4 this time because we have the content. And I think part of the 5 in the original one, because of the story, the plot, the writing, played into that 5. So I'm okay giving it a 4 for an overall. And then, of course, 4/1.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Anything else? Again, we've gone so much longer than I thought we were going to.
Yeah.
Not that I'm mad about it.
I'm not mad about it at all either. I'm mad about the book, but not about the conversation. Nope. I think that's it.
I'm just glad. I'm glad that I was able to talk through this book with somebody else because it wrecked me. It broke my heart. And apparently I needed someone else's to break alongside.
I don't know if my heart broke, but...
Well, your heart doesn't break, Misty, okay?
That is true. I was irritated.
Yeah.
But for the sake of this, yes, my heart broke with you, Jen. I'm with you.
Thank you.
Here to support. You're welcome.
Okay. All right, friends. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. If you have read Pen Pal or any other JT Geissinger book, we would love to hear from you over on Instagram at Bones of the Story, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you for joining us on the journey into the shadows of love, where dark romance stories come to light.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Bones of the Story as much as we did. If you did, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. Your feedback means the world to us.
And to stay updated on all things dark romance, follow us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
We'd also love to hear from you. Share your thoughts, ideas, or even your own dark romance stories with us. Drop us a line at bonesofthestory@gmail.com.
Remember, our next tantalizing episode is just around the corner, so keep your hearts open and your senses sharp.
Until then, embrace the darkness and let the stories continue to stir your deepest desires.
This is Misty
and Jen
signing off from Bones of the Story.